Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to very quickly talk about some of the changes that Bungie has told us about in the mid-season patch, which should be coming pretty soon. Not going to go super into detail about all the changes, so this will be straight numbers on what is changing for the most part. So let's get started. First off, they're going to change the heist battleground strike on Mars to decrease how often enemies spawn on higher difficulties, increasing the map score multiplier to help players reach score goals without using exploits like revive spamming, and adding an additional ammo crate during the strike. Other heist battleground changes also include reducing the frequency and number of some combatant waves in all the boss fights, reducing the health of Death Tongue Choristers, which are the acolytes that spawn usually at the beginning of the battlegrounds. If not killed, block you from using certain abilities. Hive runes now have the same health on all difficulties, and removing some of the fallen trip mines in the Moon Heist battleground. Next, they point out that certain patrols will be easier to complete in Neomuna. Not sure what that means. Next are about weapon damage buffs. I'll provide the whole patch notes on screen if you want to read them, but if you just want to know what weapons are getting buffed, then here we go. Auto rifles are getting a 25% damage buff. Pulse rifles, hand cannons, and sidearms are getting a 20% damage buff. And scout rifles are getting a 10% damage buff. SMGs and bows will not receive any type of damage buff as they are doing better damage overall than other weapons, but they will keep an eye on damage numbers in tune when needed. The Ikelos SMG, however, has been the most used weapon in PvP and removed some custom tuning that it had received since it released. This custom tuning to the Ikelos SMG has been removed and will now have more recoil similar to other SMGs of the same archetype now. Rapid fire fusion rifles get an increased burst damage by 15, making the total damage burst go from 245 to 260. So the damage per bolt goes from 27.2 to 28.9 while in PvP, but PvE damage is completely unchanged. Trace rifles get increased base damage by 4%, so from 12 to 12.5, reduced precision hit multiplier from 1.4 times to 1.35 times, and increased effectiveness of stability at reducing flinch by 10% at 100 stability stat in PvP. Rapid fire sniper rifles will get a 50% reduction in recoil and an increased total maximum ammo by 30% in both PvE and PvP. Last are some exotic weapon tuning and fixes. Final warning can no longer mark targets through barricades. Taraba now receives less amount of energy needed to activate Ravenous Beast when taking damage from 3% to 1% in PvP, and the zoom is reduced from 16 to 15. Revision Zero's 4th times the charm perk will now reset when entering Hunter's Trance to prevent the issue of firing a single shot while in Hunter's Trance and being forcibly returned to pulse rifle mode when 4th times the charm activates. I'm not sure about this too much because I didn't use the weapon a lot myself, so for those of you that use it, I'm sure it's a good change. Increase PvE damage of the Hunter's Trace rounds by 25% and increase the damage of the Hawkeye Heavy Burst rounds by 75%. Those are all the changes that we know of that are coming in the mid-season patch for Destiny 2 in Season 20 as of right now, which is expected sometime this month in April, is what I've been hearing. Go ahead and let me know if you like the sound of any of these changes, but I personally am excited for the weapon buffs because there are some weapons that I want to use but don't because SMGs are just so much better compared to the other weapons as of right now. Remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.